Most people over 50 believe they are doing everything right. They lace up their shoes, step outside and walk every single day feeling proud of themselves for staying active. But here is the uncomfortable truth that most doctors are not telling you directly. The way you are walking right now could be silently damaging your joints, weakening your heart, accelerating muscle loss, and even increasing your risk of a dangerous fall. In fact, a major study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that incorrect walking habits can negate nearly all the cardiovascular benefits of exercise entirely. So before you take another step, you need to watch this video, because what you are about to learn might completely change the way you walk, and in doing so it could add years of healthy, pain-free living to your life. Walking is often described as the perfect exercise, and for good reason. It is free, accessible, low impact, and remarkably powerful when done correctly. After the age of 50, your body begins to undergo a series of physiological changes. Your bone density starts to decline. Your muscles begin losing mass at a rate of about 1 to 2% per year. Your cardiovascular system becomes less efficient, and your balance and coordination gradually deteriorate. Walking, when done properly, can counteract nearly all of these changes. But the key word there is properly. And what we are going to do today is walk through, pun absolutely intended, 7 of the most common walking mistakes that people over 50 make without even realizing it, and more importantly, exactly what you should be doing instead. Let us start with the first mistake, and this one affects the vast majority of walkers regardless of age: walking with your head down and your chin forward. Think about the last time you went for a walk. Where were you looking? Most people stare at the ground about 4 to 5 feet in front of them. Others are looking down at their phones. And a growing number of people walk with what is now being called tech neck, the head pushed forward, chin jutting out, shoulders rounding inward. Here is why this is so damaging after 50. Your head weighs approximately 10 to 12 pounds when it is positioned directly over your spine. But for every inch your head moves forward, the effective load on your cervical spine increases by roughly 10 pounds. If your head is just 2 inches forward, your spine is experiencing the equivalent of carrying a 30-pound weight around your neck on every single walk. Over time, this leads to chronic neck pain, upper back tension, compressed cervical discs, and significantly impaired breathing capacity, because when your chest caves in and your shoulders round forward, your lungs simply cannot fully expand. The fix is straightforward. Keep your chin level and parallel to the ground. Your gaze should be directed about 15 to 20 feet ahead of you. Imagine a string pulling the crown of your head gently upward toward the sky. Roll your shoulders back and down away from your ears. This single correction can reduce neck and upper back pain dramatically within just a few weeks of consistent effort. Now let us move to the second mistake, which is directly connected to the first: neglecting your core while walking. Many people think of walking as purely a leg exercise, but the truth is that your core, your abdominal muscles, your obliques, your lower back muscles, and your pelvic floor should be actively engaged with every single step you take. But after 50, core strength tends to decline significantly, particularly in individuals who are sedentary or who have spent decades sitting at a desk. When your core is disengaged during walking, all of the impact and stabilization work falls onto your lower back, your hips, and your knees. This is one of the leading reasons why so many people over 50 develop chronic lower back pain and hip pain that they incorrectly attribute entirely to arthritis or aging. To activate your core while walking, try this simple technique. Before you take your first step, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, gently draw your navel in toward your spine, not a forceful sucking in, just a gentle engagement. Maintain that light tension throughout your walk. You should still be able to breathe normally and hold a conversation. Think of it as wearing an internal corset that keeps your spine protected and your posture upright. Combine this with the head position correction from mistake number 1, and you will feel a significant difference in how your lower back feels during and after your walks within just a few days. The third mistake is one that is deeply underappreciated, and it is about stride length. Specifically, the mistake is taking strides that are too long. It seems intuitive that bigger steps would mean better exercise and faster progress, but biomechanically, overstriding is one of the most damaging things you can do to your body as you age. When you take an exaggerated step, your heel strikes the ground well in front of your center of gravity. This creates a braking force, essentially. Your body is slamming on the brakes with every single step. Over time, that repetitive impact travels up through the heel, through the ankle, into the knee, and all the way up to the hip and lower back. For someone over 50 who may already have some degree of cartilage thinning in the knee or reduced bone density in the hip, this braking force can significantly accelerate joint deterioration. Research from the Journal of Orthopedic Research has found that reducing overstriding can decrease knee joint load by as much as 20%. The correct approach is to take shorter, quicker steps where your foot lands closer beneath your center of mass. Think of it as controlled, compact, and efficient movement rather than long, sweeping strides. Your step rate or cadence should ideally be somewhere between 100 and 120 steps per minute for a brisk, health-promoting walk. The fourth mistake is something almost nobody talks about, and it could be undermining everything you are working toward with your walks: not warming up before you start. I want to be very clear here, I am not talking about stretching. In fact, static stretching on cold muscles before exercise is now understood to actually increase injury risk rather than reduce it. What I am talking about is a dynamic warm-up. After the age of 50, your connective tissues, tendons and ligaments become less elastic and more prone to micro tears when they are suddenly subjected to the demands of brisk walking without preparation. Your cardiovascular system also needs a few minutes to ramp up its output and get blood flowing efficiently to the working muscles. A proper pre-walk warm-up should take no more than 3 to 5 minutes and can include movements like slow marching in place, leg swings forward and back, hip circles, ankle rotations, and gentle torso twists. These movements take the joints through their full range of motion, increase synovial fluid production, which is essentially the lubricant for your joints, and prime your neuromuscular system for the activity ahead. People who add a consistent warm-up to their walking routine report dramatically fewer incidences of Achilles tendon issues, plantar fasciitis, and hip flexor strains, 3 of the most common walking-related injuries in the over 50 population. Now we come to the fifth mistake, and this one is particularly important from a cardiovascular and metabolic standpoint: walking at the same pace every single time. This is commonly referred to as steady-state walking, and while it is certainly better than not walking at all, research consistently shows that it provides a fraction of the metabolic and cardiovascular benefit compared to varied intensity walking. When you always walk at the same comfortable, predictable pace, your body adapts within a matter of weeks. Your heart rate stays low, your caloric expenditure decreases over time as your body becomes more efficient, and you stop making meaningful gains in cardiovascular fitness, muscle endurance, or metabolic health. The solution is something called interval walking, and studies from the Japanese Society of Physical Fitness and Sports Medicine have shown that interval walking, alternating between periods of brisk walking and slower recovery walking, can improve aerobic capacity, lower blood pressure, and improve blood sugar regulation significantly more than continuous moderate walking over the same duration. The protocol is beautifully simple. Walk at your normal comfortable pace for 3 minutes, then increase to a brisk pace, one where you can still speak but feel noticeably more challenged, for 3 minutes. Repeat this cycle 4 to 5 times. Over time, as your fitness improves, you can increase the duration of the brisk intervals. This single change can transform your daily walk from a gentle stroll into a genuinely powerful cardiovascular and metabolic training session. The sixth mistake is one that has become dramatically more prevalent in the last decade, and it comes down to distraction. Specifically, walking while using a smartphone, wearing earbuds at full volume, or being otherwise mentally disengaged from the activity of walking itself. Now, I understand many people find that listening to music, podcasts, or audiobooks makes the walk more enjoyable and helps them stay consistent, and that consistency is valuable. But the problem arises when the distraction is so complete that you are no longer aware of your posture, your surroundings, or how your body is feeling. After 50, one of the most critical and yet most overlooked aspects of staying mobile and independent is proprioception, your body's ability to sense its position in space. Proprioception naturally declines with age, and intentional mindful walking is one of the best ways to maintain and even improve it. Mindful walking means being aware of how your foot is contacting the ground, how your weight is shifting from heel to midfoot to toe, how your arms are swinging, and whether your breath is steady or labored. Beyond the neurological benefits, mindful walking also dramatically reduces the risk of trips and falls, which, it is worth noting, are the leading cause of injury-related hospitalization in adults over 65. If you love your podcasts and music, that is perfectly fine. Just lower the volume enough to remain aware of your environment and periodically take 5 to 10 minutes of your walk in complete silence, fully focused on your body and your movement. The seventh and final mistake is perhaps the most surprising of all: not walking enough on varied terrain. The majority of recreational walkers over 50 stick almost exclusively to flat, smooth surfaces, sidewalks, treadmills, paved paths. And while this is understandable from a safety perspective, it comes with a significant hidden cost. Flat surface walking over time creates muscular imbalances and fails to challenge the smaller stabilizing muscles of the ankle, knee, and hip. The ankles in particular become progressively weaker and less responsive when they are never required to adapt to changes in surface texture or incline. This increases fall risk substantially. Gentle, varied terrain, even something as simple as a grass park, a gravel path, or a mild incline, engages the entire kinetic chain in a more complete way. It activates the gluteus medius, the tibialis anterior, the peroneals, and the deep hip rotators, which are all critical for balance and injury prevention. If you have concerns about stability on uneven ground, start by simply adding a slight incline to your walking route, or use a treadmill with an elevated incline setting of 2 to 3%. Once you feel confident, gradually introduce softer or slightly varied surfaces. A walking pole or trekking stick can provide an excellent additional point of contact for individuals who feel uncertain, while also engaging the upper body and increasing total caloric expenditure. So let us bring everything together, because what we have covered today is genuinely transformative if you choose to apply it. The 7 mistakes are: walking with your head down and chin forward, neglecting to engage your core, taking overly long strides, skipping your dynamic warm-up, always walking at the same pace, letting distraction pull your attention away from your body, and restricting yourself entirely to flat, predictable surfaces. Each of these mistakes on its own may seem minor, but together they form a pattern that can silently accelerate joint wear, weaken the cardiovascular system, impair balance, and strip away the very independence and vitality that walking is supposed to protect. The good news is that every single one of these mistakes is correctable starting today, without any equipment, without any gym membership, and without any dramatic overhaul of your routine. Small, consistent corrections made over time produce profound changes in how your body feels, moves, and ages. If you found this information valuable and you are committed to walking smarter and living healthier after 50, make sure to subscribe to this channel so you never miss content like this. Hit the like button to help this video reach more people who need it, and drop a comment below letting me know which of these 7 mistakes you are making, or tell me what health topic you would like me to cover next. Your input genuinely shapes what we create here, and I read every single comment. Here is to walking with purpose, walking with power, and walking your way to a longer, healthier life.